by what is appearing to be a very high level conspiracy to pervert justice. And that is a serious, serious situation. It involves the former Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. It involves people who were to give evidence in the matter that were confirmed. And I want to say to Trinidad and Tobago, as the person who has cut the road for all of the people who are talking now, because I had to tell Tim Gopi Singh tonight after I read the opposition leader's release on the matter, I said, but everybody sounding like me now. Even Kamala sounding like me now. Everybody want to talk plain. Everybody want to talk straight. Everybody want to use easy to understand language. No more pretending for the public. As the person who cut that road, I was looking at it the other day because I was busy with a personal matter when the Minister of Education closed schools 2 minutes before school was to start, and I looked around and not a single person in any public position had said anything about it. And after I put out a release that it was insanity to send 200,000 children scrambling to get back home, then all of a sudden everybody realized, wait a minute, we should talk about this too. And they did. And I'm saying these things now because you, the voter in Trinidad and Tobago, cannot keep voting people into office that do not understand how this thing works. They give you all the right stunts and all the right posturing, but none of the right policies or plans or ideas. They never on point. I was absent from the conversation for 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, a budget happened and a storm nearly hit Trinidad, and I had to stay quiet because I was dealing with a personal matter. And everybody was messaging me to tell me, look at the void. Look at the void. Look at the quiet. Look at the absence of others. They observing your personal matter too. Because none of them knew what to say if they didn't have what we were saying to ride the coattails of. I watched other political parties in their response to the insanity that was this budget and trying to make sense of it and trying to understand it and trying to appeal to the public and engage the conversation. I'm realizing these people don't even know what a budget is. They don't even know what they're supposed to think or what they're supposed to say. So they're just talking for the sake of sound. It's like a dog barking at the moon. Not one of these political leaders in any of these political parties understand what is going on. And it is high time you, the voter, stop playing with your country. Stop parroting nonsense. Stop the we like it so, nothing will change. Stop talking that. We've demonstrated to you how one man with a phone could make massive change. You now supposed to be riding that train. Stop the memes. Stop the old talk. Stop making everything a joke. It's time to take this thing very seriously. Your country is falling apart. It is falling apart, and when it falls apart, it is going to fall on you. All of these high public office holders are going to jump on a plane and go and unite with their loved ones and all of the money that they stole. You have a responsibility now. And I told Trinidad and Tobago after I finished with the issue that I was dealing with, that we are going to come and give a budget. We are going to read a budget, a proper budget on the 29th of October and show you what a budget was supposed to be in a country like Trinidad and Tobago. And on the 29th of October, I am telling you, all of you, you have to be there. You have to come to the bamboo office of the Progressive Empowerment Party, where North and South and Central and East meets. We are across the road from Grand Bazaar, by the big play field. It's easy to find. Come. Because if one man with a phone could get them to fix the road, imagine if 100,000 people stand up with me, how quickly they come and fix your road. Imagine if 100,000 people stand up with me. the fear of God you will put in their lives, how quickly water will flow in your taps. If 100,000 people stand with me, how quickly the Minister of Finance will begin the conversation about regulating the banks. I am hearing judges asking the Chief Justice to take action on tardy judges and put timers on court cases. That is a PEP policy. Without us talking, there is nothing happening. When Phillip Alexander is silent, none of these talking heads, local, regional, and international, know what to say. You have a responsibility now. You have a responsibility to join the Progressive Empowerment Party in your droves, in your hundreds of thousands. You have a responsibility now to send a message to the racist, divisive, tribal parties and all the jokey 1% funded, half-beat distractions. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the only party that is telling you, make them debate. Let them answer to you before they get in office. Don't come by your gate and talk foolishness and skin up your pan to fool me. Tell me what you know. How would you fix it? And tell me how you arrived at that. Show me your work. Remember when your teacher used to tell you that when you were small? Show me your work. Show me how you arrived at this. Tell me how you would measure it, how you would deliver it. Show me that. It is time the voters of this country stop being peons and peasants and lemmings and fools. Stop playing any, mini, miny, more with two corrupt parties. You are looking into the faces of politicians that you know stole money, that you know engaged in egregious acts of corruption. You are looking at two parties and talking about which one is 1% and which one is contract mafia, but both of them in bed with all of the same people, and you know it. And it is your money. And it is you that they work into death. You know that. It is time to stop the old talk and stand up together and fix it. I tell you something. The reason I'm not marching with nobody, everybody who want to organize a march calling me, Phillip, add your voice, we're going and march. No. I am not marching like a fool with no objective in sight. I ask every time they call me, what's the point of the march? To show that you could make up some numbers? That's the point of the march? What happens when the march done? We sweaty, we exercise, that's it, go home. The Progressive Empowerment Party has a plan. We have a policy for every issue that ails this country. We understand how to fix the lack of government. We understand how to fix the justice system. We understand how to fix the Red House, the Parliament, the Cabinet, the government, the Senate, the presidency. We understand how to fix local government, the regional health authorities, the 10 police divisions. We understand what to do with the army. We understand how to stop the drug trade and how to stop the guns from coming in the country. We understand how to stop the corruption. We understand how to stop crime. The Progressive Empowerment Party has a plan for everything, and don't let people tell you that it can't fix, because this will be the only country in the world where things can't fix. Everywhere else things fix. People build a city in a desert in America and to build one hotel, and it's now one of the biggest cities in America, Las Vegas. It's one of the top tourist destinations in the world, but it was a desert. And they harness a river and they send water, and that the rest is history. We would be the only country in the world. This morning I had to show people a picture of something called a stepwell that they used to build in India thousands of years ago. The Romans, the Aztecs, the Incas, the Persians used to build roads that's still around today. The longest road in the Americas that starts in Argentina and ends in Canada is the Aztec Highway. And we have jackasses, Junior Sammy and Calco and Kusal and all the rest of these pitch layers that can't put on a road that lasts 5 years. You have a responsibility to stop it now. You have a responsibility to put serious people in the parliament, to use the power of the parliamentary privilege to bring people to justice and prosecute them like tonight. Tonight, the director of public prosecution should be at a news conference for the people, explaining how he intends to prosecute former Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi for conspiracy to pervert the course of public justice, for fraud, for misbehavior in public office. That's supposed to be announced within 24 hours of the Director of Public Prosecutions must resign. This is a serious, serious matter. Our justice system mustn't be brought into disrepute, and this does that. And you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, who are paying all of their salaries, coming on Facebook and bitching and moaning about who running you off the road with their blue lights. If you want blue light-itis to stop, 100,000 of you come out on the 29th of October. Stand with Phillip Alexander, because I'm telling you, we can't just keep talking this talk. We have to unite and stand together. And if you stand with me, you don't have to march. If you stand with me, you don't have to shout. If you stand with me, you don't have to sing. You don't have to clench your face. You don't have to pelt nothing. You don't have to wave nothing. If you stand with me, all I am asking you to do is stand for your country with me. That's all. We will take it from there. Give us the power of you. The Prime Minister tonight is the Prime Minister because of the power of 322,000 citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and their vote. That's what makes him the Prime Minister. Every police officer, every judge, the president, every mayor, every public office holder in this country stands on the power of you. And you don't get it. That's why they come on Facebook and they come on social media and give you these memes to make you share and laugh at yourself and laugh at one another. That's not enough. Don't think when you fire a perverted politician and his co-conspirators in corruption, don't think that that is enough. They must make a jail. We must get our money back. It must be a clear example that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, will not be accepting this. You have a responsibility to that. Right now, you have a responsibility to share this video and let everybody know. Because we have to decide once and for all what kind of country we want and what kind of country we want to leave for our children. We have to decide that. This is serious, serious matters. And I'm going to tell you something now. Any citizen in this country who's ever had to deal with the insanity of our public health system need to come out on the 29th of October. Starts at noon. We open the gates at noon. We start at 5. We will have entertainment and refreshments in the meantime. And I'm saying all of that here because we're going to do the right thing. We're going to do it for you. We're going to be there. I am sharing the video right now, and you should share it too. We're going to be there. We're going to give you the space. We're going to give you the legal protection of the space. We're not doing anything illegal. It's private property. You're invited to come. Nobody can tell you can't come. They have no limit to how much people could live in a house. 100,000 of we living there. We will show Shamfa and all of them. But you have to decide. You have to decide. Every one of you, whoever hit a pothole and cuss. If you ever hit a pothole and cuss, don't tell me PNM Road better than UNC Road. You're lying to yourself. Don't tell me UNC Water was better than PNM Water. You're lying to yourself. What each of them just come to government and do is turn off the water in the other party area and give it to their followers. Don't think that water was better under the UNC. Water was better for Indian under the UNC in Indian constituencies. That's what they do. That's what these politicians do. And they fool you into believing, and they argue with themselves. And they argue and they lie to you. PNM take all the water now to put in PNM constituencies. There are people in this country that have electrical connections that don't get an electrical bill because they have the right party card. There are people in this country that have water connections that don't get no water bill because they have the right party card. There are people in this country who doing business, who throw up a business today, and they make no money, they tear it down tomorrow, and they throw up a next business, and that one they make no money, they tear it down, and they throw up a next one. They can't explain where that money coming from. But they're successful. I am the only person that tells you the truth about these issues. And I'm saying that to you because you have a responsibility now to tell Phillip Edward Alexander, by your presence on the 29th of October, we want to fix it. Or tell him by your absence, brother, shut up now. Nobody here want what you're selling. And trust me, that could be an outcome too. Because I am not, this 3 weeks that I just went through here, I took a long, hard look at my country and where my country is going and myself and my involvement in the politics. I took a long, hard look at it, and I tell you all again, There's a reason I don't wear brands. There's a reason I don't have jewelry or fancy car and boat. There's a reason I don't live that life. I'm not out there looking for girls. There's a reason I am only in politics to fix my country for my family and yours. But I'm telling you, if you don't involve yourself, they're going to continue. They're going to continue to destroy this country. They're going to continue to loot it. This country is the only country in the world that has more rainwater than it could ever use. Understand that now. If we captured all of our rainwater that falls on this country and then connected them to pumps and sprayed it in the air 24/7, 365 days in the year, we can't run out of water. That's the amount of water we get. We are the only people in the world so stupid that we know we're not in a desert, we're in a rainforest. That is the climate. Tobago is a rainforest. Go and check it. We know that we get more water than we could use, but we're talking PNM, UNC foolishness. We're talking about we like it so foolishness, it can't fix foolishness. Those studies that they will never change foolishness. When people tell me that on my Facebook, on my wall, I've blocked them. I've blocked them on WhatsApp. I don't care who you are. And there's get their friends to call. Why you block me? Don't be thin skin. It's not thin skin. I'm not in this for bullshit. I'm not in this for talk. I'm in this to fix the country. If you think that we like it so, don't be in my politics. Because I don't. The people that I'm talking to, they don't. If you think it can't fix, then don't talk to me. But don't look to be included in what I saying to come and tell me it can't fix. We like it so, them like it so, and all this kind of foolish talk. I don't have time for that. We are running out of time as a country. We are running out of time as people. Look at what is going on. A woman get lost in a rainstorm in Trinidad and rainfall and wash away and dead. And life goes on. The country is killing you. It is eating you. It is eating your children. You have no idea. Parents wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, go on about their business to dutifully get their children to school. And when they reach in the office to find out, they have to go and do that same 4 hours again. You get the children back home. And what about the parents who couldn't? What about those who didn't have the ability to get their children home that day? Those children were put in danger in bad weather. And we're not talking that. We're not talking that a man on a motorbike hit a pothole, fly off his bike and crash into a wall and dead. We're not talking that. We're not talking about the little Indian doctor who avoided a pothole on the highway, crashed into a culvert that's sticking out in the shoulder and dead. We're not talking that. We're not talking about all the people who gone missing. We're not talking about all the people who dead. We're not. We're bacchanalists and noisemakers, and we have to stop that. We have to focus as people, because we talk it. I watch on Facebook, only quick now to talk Singapore, only quick to talk Dubai, only quick to talk about countries that work, Finland. But you're not understanding the difference between them and you is they want their country to work. Lee Kuan Yew gave the people of Singapore an undated signed resignation letter, and I'm willing to do the same. They could have fired him at any time. People just tell you, boy, life's so strict in Singapore. They just enforce the law. But you know what? You could leave your phone and your laptop and your wallet on a seat on a bus. Go home. Realize you forget it. Go back on the bus and it's sit down right there. Nobody ever touch it. We could have our country work properly if we wanted that. We take too much chain up. We take too much noise, too much fat, too much drunkenness. They know how to chain us up. And you have to ask yourself, is this good enough? You are unhappy. Unless you're drunk, you're unhappy. Nobody in Trinidad happy. No 1%, no gated community liver. Nobody happy. When you come out your gated community, when you drive out of Goodwood Park, you're in danger. When you see them old people from Goodwood Park come out onto Western Main Road, they gripping that steering wheel so hard, their fingers white. And they in panic. Because you know they get in an accident, they ain't lucky, they ain't sure that the ambulance come and get them, and the ambulance get them, they ain't sure to get to the hospital. Or they get where they go in there, shot a stray bullet past through the vehicle and kill them. People are scared to death in this country. And I just talk about people in Goodwood Park. What about the poor people? The poor, everyday people living in normal lives, everyday lives, trying to go about their business just as scared. Their children just as at risk. But we don't pay them the mind that we pay people with money in this country. But as I talk for another time, the issue now is this. If your child's school is a shit school, if the only example they could give of why the school is not a shit school is because Charlie know Mary and Mary know Sally and Sally know Dan Raj's child had get a pass when he was in that school. If you had to hear that whole chain, your child's school is a shit school. And if your child's school is a shit school and we're spending $5 billion a year, if we're spending more than 1% parents spending in St. Andrews and Dunross, and our children's school have concrete slab falling on their head to kill them, and you ain't standing up yet, what good go take? And the people as laugh at the most, the people I ignore the most, are the ones who have the most to say when things good. And when the shit hit the fan in their lives, they're blowing up my inbox. They're diving deep into my direct messages. Phillip, put this on blast. And I'm wondering to myself, who does this person think I am? Like, I am bored and I am sitting at home looking for things to put on blast. You know which thing I get first? That I don't even talk about? I get this story about the little boy who that concrete slab fall on his head from his uncle. I talked to his mother before it reached the news. I hooked them up with a lawyer before it reached the news. And I even put out in the public space that I hooked them up with Globe Law Chambers so that the parents could get redress for a concrete slab falling on the child's head. I'm not no Mark Busser. That is not this. That's not what this is for. I'm not in this for likes and shares. You're not going to see me stunting and posing for likes and shares. The purpose of this, I tell you, the day these pages go dark, it is because I believe that there is nothing that I could do for Trinidad politically, and I will accept that. I will accept that normal. Because this is our reality. If we don't stand together, forget it. It's going to fall apart. We are the only country in the world where the banks charge you 13% tax on your foreign exchange. We are the only country in the world. Hear this one. And I put this in the public space after the budget. Guyana oil making them money, but our oil not making us money. You're telling us that our oil and Guyana oil, which is the same puddle of oil under the earth. I don't know about the food here. Because geographically, Trinidad and Guyana is one land under the sea. Geographically, Trinidad and Venezuela is one land under the sea. A little bit of water flowing in a gully between us. But geographically, we are connected. And I want to tell you this. Their oil selling for so much money. Guyana is in New Dubai. Now people tell me, boy, Phillip is the volume. Yeah, it's the volume, but we had them volumes too. Where was your voice when we had those volumes? So don't come and tell me that. Miss me with that bullshit. But Rowley coming to tell you, the reason our oil not making us money is that, well, we don't have a refinery anymore. But Guyana don't have a refinery at all. How come Guyana making money? But St. Lucia and Grenada and Dominica that have no oil and no refinery, they drop the price of their gas. We raise ours. Them important too? If they're important and could drop the price of the pump, why we have to be spending more? Why we have to lose? Why we have to lose? The little grant that the people get, that subsidy, that should be ours forever. The $500 million these nasty people come and spend on this 500 foot of roadway. I work it out as $1 million a foot. That's $1 million a foot of 1% Tanti Westmall Highway. That money could have paid for the subsidy. You know that? That money could have maintained the subsidy. Do you know that it costs between $500 and $800 to build a modern building from scratch per square foot? Let me say it again. It costs between $500 and $800 per square foot to build a modern building where there is nothing before, where there is a hole in the ground, where there's bush, where there's dirt. If you go to build a modern building from scratch, bringing all services, bringing all electrical, bringing all plumbing, all sewage, built from scratch, between $500 and $800 a square foot. These nasty bitches spend $5,000 a square foot to renovate the red house. And all just sit there and take that, and Kamala sit down there dumb and stupid, and she know it can't cost $5,000 a square foot to renovate nothing. Not even the Taj Mahal costs $5,000 a square foot. Not Buckingham Palace costs $5,000 a square foot. But our chirrup little red house, lipstick and rouge, that needed to fix some holes in the roof, babaka floor, and paint over the doors, that costs $5,000 a square foot. And all you take that and trying to understand how come they can't give all their raise beyond 4%. And every single one of those union leaders that accept them 4% sell out. And the union, the people who are members of that union, stupid, because they get sold. All of them get sold. But the OWTU workers get sold. They calling you out now to line up round the roundabout. Where your BMW? Where your $10 million? Hush them out. Hush them out, because you sit down there quiet when I was telling you that all them union leaders have questions to answer. You have people have salary negotiations 4 and 5 times due, and nobody ain't making noise about that. When we put TSTT on blast, the Communication Workers Union come out to say he clearing the thing with me, but CNC3 ain't called to get a response from me. But it is because of me, all of those workers that is the Communication Workers Union turned their back on. It is because of me, TSTT rush and settle them. You have a responsibility to your country. Ask those VSEP workers who it is organized for them. Ask them. Look at the Caroni workers. The Caroni workers that get abandoned even by the UNC. UNC call police for Caroni workers and tell them they're stalking them. The people just want their VSEP, you know. They just want what you promised them. The UNC that build a whole political party that get into government and eat ham and jam on them sugar workers back, call police for the ex-Caroni workers who walking around with a piece of paper 19 years now. People dead, father and mother dead, and children trying to understand. Squatters build on the land, and now squatters have rights on the land. You ever hear anything more funny in this mad-ass country? And you still sitting down there telling you, if your child go into a shit school, come out on the 29th of October. If you ever hit a pothole in your life, if you ever damage a rim, if you ever bust a shock, if you ever had to swerve and get in an accident, come out on the 29th of October. If you ever call an ambulance, or you know somebody, you call an ambulance and no ambulance ain't come, or the ambulance take hours to come out on the 29th of October. If you have no water in your tap tonight, if you're waiting on water to fall in a tank tonight, come out on the 29th of October. If you pay in WASA bill every 2 months and USC water for 2 months, come out on the 29th of October. If you live in fear in your country and your community is crime-riddled, come out on the 29th of October. If you have no job, or the job you have is a crap job, you can't get paid properly. If you're one of the hundreds of thousands of people that these sons of bitches offering 4%, but you've done the work already on a promise, and they should have pegged your increases to the escalation of inflation that they're responsible for. And if they didn't, you are entitled to redress because you've done the work already. That is a criminal act. If you are waiting on national insurance, if you are waiting on the National Insurance Board, if you're waiting on pension, come out on the 29th of October. If you can't get your cataract fixed in a public hospital, are getting $5 billion a year, but we're spending $750 million on private contracts, come out on the 29th of October. If you're working for the prison service and trying to understand why the prison vans were sidelined so a private company could get the contract to do justice on time and move the prisoners around, come out on the 29th of October. You have a responsibility to stand with me. You have a responsibility to stand up for yourself. That is our responsibility as people. And I promise you this, we will start with 100,000 and we will grow to 500,000. That is our right. And we will stand together as our right. Once you see we cross 323,000 people, that's it. That's it. You have that right. You have a right to proper governance. You have a right to a justice system that works. If you have a relative in jail for more years than they should be there for a petty matter, and they can't see the light of day because they can't afford bail and they can't afford a lawyer, come out on the 29th of October. If you have a matter before the courts that are dragging on 10, 15, 20 years, come out on the 29th of October. You have a responsibility to stand up for yourself. And if 100,000 victims in this country stand up with me, I guarantee you, we will fix it. We will fix water. I guarantee you we will fix water. I guarantee you if 100,000 people stand with me, we fire Gonzales and we fire the entire board of WASA and put people there who could do the job. I promise you that, because we get more water in this country. See, we're not looking for water, you know. What we're looking for is management. That's what we're looking for. Because in every community, in every constituency, in this country, enough water falls for us to have all the water we need and water to waste. We should never have to pay an electric bill for a pump. We should never have any of our land space under tanks. We should never have to wait for water to turn on and turn off. We have more water than we could use. The water floods us because we don't know how to manage it. What we need is management. There is an interconnectivity in how we manage the flow of water on the land surface in this country, why we have flood and we have drought. And if you stand with me, if 100,000 people stand with me, we fix that. I promise you we fix that. I tell you, a couple hundred people stand with me and we get Ramsaran peanut punch back on the shelves in Hilo within 24 hours. Mr. Ramsaran will still call me and remind me. It's a couple thousand people stand with me. You know which people's house we save? Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, that is us too. You know which people's house we save from the banks? If you stand with me, we save everybody. If you stand with me, we will get the Minister of Finance, the central bank, to go into those banks and tell them this is not the agreement for banking in this country. That you cannot be charging fees for everything, that you cannot not be paying these people interest on their funds. That have to fix. We've been raped by these banks for decades. And the reason you're taking it is because you're going in there one by one. Let we stand together, 100,000 law-abiding, peaceful people with rights under the Constitution. Stand with me on the 29th of October at Bamboo, number 1. I'll give you the correct address. For those who are going to start asking for the address, maybe Satish will pin the address on the thing. The address is 25 Bamboo, number 1, Valsain, opposite the Bamboo number 1 recreation grounds. Let me make it simple. There is a flyover that connects Grand Bazaar and Bamboo number 1. That flies over north and south. So our section, how Grand Bazaar is close to the South Highway, our place is close to the North Highway. Can't miss it. Get on that and you'll see my big smiling face. A big billboard. Get on that flyover from Grand Bazaar, as if you're going back north, you'll see my face and just come straight. But I'm saying this to you. Tell your friends, tell your family, if you ever had to deal with public health, if you ever had to sit down in a hospital in this country and wait hours for somebody to attend to you, come out on the 29th of October. If you have to go in the grocery and stand up there and ponder how the price of a breadfruit that should be $2 in this country is $30, come out on the 29th of October. If you had to ask, how could we be selling kale in Price Mart for $40 when Trinidadian farmers who begging for land selling it for $3 at a profit? Come out on the 29th of October. If you want a better country, come out on the 29th of October. If you want politicians that are servants of the people, because we've done that. We've done that to a fault. We've been there. People call me. They just buff me on social media. I call you and I didn't get through. So when you call me, well, I send a message Sunday. Sunday? You want me working 24/7? I don't get paid for this. Rowley does. Kamla does. How come you're not buffing them? Well, them don't answer. So if you know that I answer, come out on the 29th of October. Get ready to put us in office. I want to tell you something. The government collapsing on itself, you know. Right now, Imbert and Young at war. Rowley in trouble. They're looking to snatch up a Penelope or a Karen Teixeira or a Foster Cummins or somebody because Rowley have to go. But it is not just Rowley. That entire band have to go because all of them sit down there and watch the same things take place. And not one of them raise their hand in the cabinet. Not one of them raise their hands in the government. Not one of them walk out and say, boy, Rowley, you're a madman. I will come back in the PNM when you move. Because you're crazy. You're killing people in this country. Not one. But they want to come and lead now, and you must pretend that because this one change of face, the same dirty underwear, that PNM and that UNC. Look at it. Look at it. My inbox, while I talking to you, while I doing this tonight, 100 messages of people asking for help. Can you intervene? Can you assist? If you having problems with any arm of the state, come out on the 29th of October. You know what we do? We plant a microphone with an open mic. And Phillip, Edward Alexander, stands or sits right there. Walk up to that mic and talk. They have not one politician in this country, not one that brave. Because you walk up to that mic because I could defend myself. And I could defend our policies and I could answer questions. And I am not afraid of the public. Not one other politician of any hue or stripe or kind could say that. Every single meeting, we have an open microphone. And they'll be asking, anybody have anything to say? Anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to ask any questions? Every time. You have a responsibility. The 29th of October. And I am starting back these live videos tonight. And all of these live videos from tonight is to tell you why you should, if the DPP does not begin prosecution of Faris Al-Rawi and everybody involved in that conspiracy to pervert public justice, that misbehavior in public office, that fraud, if he don't start that tomorrow, you should be out on the 29th of October. We need a better country. We need laws that work. We need public officials accountable. When you have to write on a thread, on a wall, or in a Guardian, or in somebody's social media, well, who guarded the guards? Or nobody answering to nobody. If you know that, then you know this country broken. You need to come out on the 29th of October. Because other than Phillip, Edward Alexander, and the Progressive Empowerment Party, who bringing these issues to light? Which politician, which political party Sabga News hide from the public? Which one? Which one? Which one TV6 answering to political handlers block me from coming on their station? Gary Griffith could come twice a day. He harmless. Gary just talking about policing cockroaches. That's nothing. They don't bother about that. Phillip dealing with the real issues that are affecting this country from the top down. I don't wait for it to affect me for me to talk about it. I talking about the presidency a while now that it is useless. It's a waste of money. We want to give people accolades in life and we want to reward them for a life of service, but putting them into a position, calling them the highest office in the land, and then giving them no authority and no power is a waste of time and a foolish exercise. Trinidad is like children designed it. We need a country that works. You need a country that works. Before you get too old to enjoy, to be protected, to have a place that if you end up, let me tell you something, after you cross a certain age, everything is doctor, you know, everything is pharmacy, everything is hospital. After you cross a certain age, things start to break down. And you want a public health that works. You want an ambulance system that works. You want pharmacies that give you proper pricing on pharmaceuticals that are critical to the aging population. We don't have that conversation. Today is International Mental Health Day. In a country where if somebody demonstrates that they're having mental health issues, we laugh and we ridicule and we shame them instead of understanding that that is an affliction. That is an affliction and those people need help and they need care. We don't have that in Trinidad and Tobago. Think about it. Look around. We call our mental institution the madhouse. Look at that. Look at Trinidad. Nothing's changed. I had reason to spend time in La Perouse Cemetery. You want to see criminal misbehavior in public office and the waste of taxpayer funds? Go and walk through La Perouse Cemetery and see why every politician in the parliament should be fired. And why you're firing them? Because they're not raising those issues. They're not addressing those issues. They have one little piece of La Perouse Cemetery that looks like it is cared for. And that is a gate that the United States, I think it's the Marines, that they built it. And they come and they take care of this gate. One gate. The rest of the cemetery is insane. And as in the heart of Port of Spain, we use in a jail that they used to jail the slaves in. That's still our penal system. Trinidad and Tobago is broken by deliberate design. Everything I tell you, somebody benefits from. Somebody benefits from our throwing the rainwater in the sea so they could sell your tank and they could sell your pump. You know this country had 5 companies manufacturing water tanks, exporting to the world because water tank was such a lucrative business in Trinidad. Water tank. Water tank. In a country, it's like trying to sell. There's make a joke bringing coals to Newcastle. You'd be a fool to bring coals to Newcastle or to bring chalk to Dover. Dover is made of chalk. Trinidad is made of water. This is a rainforest. It is made of water. Rain falls on this country in volumes that we cannot properly process because we don't know how. You see in Kokori there, where that waters collect and cause that flood, sink a retention pond right there. All you need to see is the grate. You know they make those retention ponds prefab, 5 stories. All you need to do is come in the middle of the night, drill straight down, dig that hole, drop him in, close it back, connect the pipe, put the pump. When rain fall, 5 stories of water inside of there. When rain done, pump it to the reservoir. Trinidad and Tobago does not have to be this badly managed. It doesn't have to be this broken. We don't have to have our churches and our religious bodies selling their souls to political parties to survive and to get recognition. Our entire country is a mad mess. All of our laws. We need to deep dive into our entire system of laws and start it over. The way we operate this country, the Senate is a waste of time as constituted. Nobody wants to talk to you about that. Most of the politicians who sit in the Senate don't even understand where the Senate come from. The Senate is a copy of the House of Lords. There was a time in England, you were either a landowner or a peasant living on the land belonging to a landowner. That's where the term landlord come from. And the House of Lords was the house of all the landlords. And all the laws belong to them. They wrote the laws. And when they created a House of Commoners for the peasants so that they could get their laws too, we end up copying the 2 of them whole. But Trinidad don't have that. We either need a Senate that is a rubber stamp and not a rubber stamp, oversight of the lower house. If you want to do that, fine. You could put things in place and make sure that you can't fire the senators at whim, at will, like Pandey did when he wanted senators to vote his way. And that's what it is, a rubber stamp now. The Senate is a joke. It is a waste of time. Be honest, the presidency is a waste of time. A waste of public funds. We need to redo how our country is run. We need a proper parliament. We have an opposition that serves no purpose unless it requires a special majority. And this government find a way to do away with that. So now the opposition left to being pot beaters, making a set of noise in the road. Look at it. Look at it. The local government system in this country was a holdover from when we were going to be the Caribbean Federation states. Why we still have that? All of our regional health authorities together, if you add them up, can make up one regional health authority that we copy from London. Why we have that? Our 10 police divisions don't make sense. Do you know that we have no system of communication between local government, regional health authorities, the THA, the police service? None of these things line up. We have so many different ways to make this country dysfunctional. It had to be by deliberate design. That we wanted to make sure that the people would never have proper representation. You don't want that fixed now? I'm telling you, 29th of October, and I'm telling you this, even though Sabga News and TV6 and them blocking me from you, every other columnist, everybody of note, everybody who understands politics, telling you, Phillip Edward Alexander is the big ticket outside here. Everybody talking Phillip will fix it. We've demonstrated that we could fix stuff. That's not a boast, that's just a fact. We went out there and did the job of fixing roads in Moruga. We went out there and responded to the public day and night and got their problems solved. We responded so well. We have a jackass of a minister of public works running down to put more barrel of his own around the roundabout in Debe to try and pretend that he knows what he's doing. Putting up sign, painting road, he's doing everything now because Phillip showed him up, and he has a failure and was responsible for people crashing, losing their lives. All of those families should come out on the 29th of October, and I will tell them how to sue the state. There's no statute of limitation on that. Sue the state. You're entitled to sue the state for that. That is depraved indifference to human life. We need that law. We need that law. Plenty doctors, plenty government ministers would make a jail. You need a country that works. You need a country where if your government, if your member of parliament is not working, you realize there's nothing you can do. If you living in Diego Martin West and Keith Rowley don't do nothing for Diego Martin West, and you wanted to fire him, you can't. You have to wait until elections. But with a simple act called recall, a simple law called recall, it is how Arnold Schwarzenegger ended up as governor of California, because they fired the man before him who was, electricity was dipping too much, and they get fed up. Because California then was the 13th largest economy in the world. And they said, if you can't keep the lights on, brother, fire you. And they recalled him, and Schwarzenegger ended up as the governor. You need that. We tell you. We've been saying for years, our first act is to make recall law. Make it law. So that going forward, every single government minister, every member of parliament could be fired by the people who pay their salaries. That is how you run a country. I want to tell you this before I go. A budget is a vision document. A budget sets the tone, sets the direction. A budget tells all the people of the country, this is who we are, this is what we want to achieve, this is what it's going to cost to achieve it, this is where we're going, this is where we'll end up at the end of this 12-month period as part of a short term, 3 years to 5 years, medium term, 5 years to 7 years, long term, 7 to 10 and beyond. That we intend to be here. We intend to be playing in aerospace or food processing or agro processing or marine industry or pleasure craft or entertainment. Sometime we intend to be playing in these multiples of disciplines, and to get there, we need to build. I keep showing you all the example of 30 years. India went from being the call center of the world to being the largest holder of information technology patents in the world. That all of the major companies on the planet have CEOs from India. It started off as a call center. You have to have a vision for your country, and you have to have a budget and a roadmap and a plan. You have to have measurables that you could actually sit down in that parliament and call the Minister of Health and ask him, where are we with the development of the public health system? Where you said we would be here by March 1st. Are we there? Yes, we are. In fact, we are ahead. No, we are a little bit behind, but we'll catch up before the third quarter. You want a better country? On the 29th of October, come and stand with me in Bamboo. Because I'm telling you this is the only way forward. And all them march all over the place. All them people who want to march, all of y'all who are upset, come and stand up on the 29th of October. Come and use my microphone. Come and tell people. Because 19 people called me for different march, and the same 20 people went in all 19 march. So all you obviously want something, you'll obviously have something to say. Come and say it on the 29th of October. The microphone will be open, will be broadcasting on the internet for the world to see. Come and join us. Come and stand with us in Bamboo #1 on the 29th of October. Until tomorrow, stay safe.